Welcome, folks. I'm going to kick off a new series here to just to see how popular it is or how interested people are in this. I'm going to basically record all of my ranked play for a week, and you can see me how I do, how I raise the ranks, how I perform against teams, and we'll also take a look at some of the teams that I play if I have them in my friends list to see how uh, my batters are doing against the various pitchers that I'm facing and the types of skills that they have. Excuse me, and how long it takes me to rise up and how far I can rise without any refreshes. So rule number one of this is going to be that I am not going to be using any refreshes. Rule number two is that I will play everybody on my lists. I won't be skipping anybody because I do that sometimes. And rule number three is I'm going to quick play everything. I do not, and I never do, I just don't like it, do manual play. So let's take a look at battle mode. You're going to see that we got 4 minutes left. Hopefully I'm not going to have to fill this time with dead air, but nonetheless, we have 4 minutes left before the thing resets. And the reason I chose to record this video at this particular time is hopefully I have enough time to talk through things, but I want to be able to get my first game in as quickly as possible after the timer sets. And there's a big reason for this. And that is, if you get a game played against you before you've registered your first game, any points you would have gotten from that game will be lost. So you want to make sure you register your first game as soon as possible, otherwise you're potentially missing out on free points if you manage to score some home wins. So that's why I want to get this thing kicked off right in the beginning. So we'll watch the season reset. I'll collect my rewards, open my team select pack, and then we'll kick off. Actually, I'll probably fire a quick play, and then we'll do all that so that I don't miss out. Anyways, you can see on the screen here, this is my last refresh before the season ended. Henry's been giving me all sorts of grief. I have problems beating his team, so this season I skipped him a few times. I played him some, I skipped him some. At the end of the season, I didn't want to suffer a loss because, as you can see, I finished rank 3 due to some last-minute luck, even though I lost my last of the way game to Boombats, who I just passed at the last second. Don't know how, but nonetheless. What you see here is you'll see 3 losses, 1 draw, what's that, 4 wins? 5 wins, which is pretty typical results for me. For each refresh, I'm generally going to see probably 1 to 3 losses. On a bad one, I'll see 5 losses. That's not that common. And I'll see 1 or 2 draws in there as well. So that was a pretty typical refresh for me. And with the results that I've been seeing, that's generally enough to get me up into the top 5-ish players. So with luck this season, you can see me hopefully rise, and the goal is to hit somewhere in the top 5. Now, the things that are going to be prohibitive here are if other players are doing a lot of refreshes, it's going to be harder to get that high. And if I run into a lot of players who are manual playing me, that could be a problem too. Because I'm choosing to play everybody, that means I might lose some away games to some manual players, which basically means I give them 2 free wins, which is, by the way, the reason I generally skip manual players, because I don't like risking an away loss when they're guaranteeing their revenge win. It just doesn't seem like a fair trade to me. So... but this season, I'm going to play them anyways, and so that might impede my progress a little bit. We'll just have to see how that is. Let's take a look at some stats while we're filling the last 50 seconds here to see how I did. We'll take a look at what lineup I'm going to use. I've been watching the performance very closely of Jay Kelly there because I just maxed out his skills. We'll take a look at those. Robbie Ross Jr. is my other. I have 2 relievers that I'm trying to fill the gap with, and I just haven't found anybody to fill that hole very well with. You can see my other relievers are Uehara with 2 point something ERA. Kimbrel did really well, and Ziegler's my closer. So those relievers are doing pretty well. I just don't have somebody to fill the 3 and 4 and even the 5 spots. So let's actually take a look at those. Lineup. We got 10 seconds left. Oops. Okay, so I'll show you why I was looking at Kelly. Kelly's using some skills that a lot of people are interested in, Giant Killer and Kill Shot. He is now maxed out. Giant Killer just hit 6, and I was hoping to see some decent performance from him. Notice he has Untouchable. He has no skills that are affecting stats, so that means his Giant Killer should be activating fairly often against top players. Okay, so we are down to our last seconds. Okay, here's my results. Diamond 1 ranking, rank 3. There's my rewards. I want that Team Select Diamond Pack. I'm hoping and praying to get a vintage out of that. Excuse me. And, of course, the skill tickets are very valuable. So before we do that, by the way, you'll note that my win rate was 60%. My win rate at home was very low. It's because I tanked a season. So we'll do another season, and I'll show you what tanking's like to earn a lot of extra rank coins, but we're not going to do that this season. This season's just going to be a regular straight play. So let's get a game out of the way very quick. We'll just enter, hit the first guy, and we'll quick play this through. So you'll have to suffer with a little bit of silence here as we watch. So we got bronze pitcher, so it's probably going to be pretty much of a slaughter. In general, what I find is for the first 2 to 3 refreshes, and given that I'm not doing any refreshes, I'm just waiting for the time to run out, I'll be sailing through. I'm not likely to see any losses with probably the first 3 or 4 refreshes in my away games. Then it'll start to get tougher from there. So, okay, so we registered our first win. That was our key. So now we're going to go back and open our rewards and pray for a vintage. Yeah, right. But, one can dream. Okay, collect those. And you know what? While I'm at it, Arcade, we'll collect this as well. And we'll go back to Inbox and collect those. And we'll even open whatever packs I have. Oh, I got a premium pack. Yay. And Team Select Diamond. We'll do the premium first. Not a big surprise. Nothing special. All right, here we go. I rarely get anything of any use out of these, so it's really just playing and praying for vintage. Oh, God, that looks horrible. I have no idea who that is. Whatever it is, not something I'm going to be using. Oh, 18 hard. He's hitting like 1 something. Yeah, 149. Yeah, not going to be using. Oh, those skills, though. Charisma and Training Junkie work pretty well together. I might keep him just purely based on skills and pray that he comes out with a decent season. Okay, let's go back to quick player games. Back into ranked, and I'm just going to quickly blast through these. Now I'm going to fumble around trying to think of what else I wanted to tell you as we're working our way through this. Now, I don't have a good feel for how many of these people actually will revenge me. As a player in the bottom parts of the ranks, I don't know that I would waste a revenge on somebody who's that much stronger than me team-wise and OVR-wise and just rack up a loss. There's really not any point to it. But nonetheless, people do play me a lot. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to tell you about my strategy that I use when I'm playing ranked play is I do not... Okay, so we have 8 hours before the next refresh where I get my next 10 people to play. I tend not to take that refresh right away. I actually will wait, and sometimes an extended period of time before I will take that refresh. And the reason is, when I'm playing my games, I want the games that I'm playing to be against people who are higher ranked than me at the time, so I get the maximum number of ranked points out of each win. So by procrastinating on the refresh, I'm giving other people a chance to play their games, shoot up higher than me, so that I can earn more points as I play my games. That's the strategy has worked out fairly well. When I do this type of season where I play no refreshes and everything quick play, the strategy has worked out pretty well for me. Once again, I generally hit somewhere around rank 5-ish, something like that. I think I got really lucky and made it to rank 2 once. And I do call it luck because once you get into the top 10 and you're quick playing all your games against teams of the caliber of Henry's team, Team Boston, Mr. Bubbles, all those guys, it really is luck. There's a lot of luck involved because those teams all have comparable skills to my players. So, you just never know. All right. So we're only through about 3 of these. So who knows? This might get a little bit tedious as the week goes on, sitting here watching these games go by. But this is just a test. If I get decent views on these, then I will continue doing additional seasons. This is to appease the crowd who actually like to actually see how a high-ranked team can do, what it's like to have those players and how they're going to perform. Because I know that some of us either don't have the inclination to invest the time to build up such a team or whatever. So I'm hoping to appeal to those people who just want to see how it goes with a fairly strong team. I'll take a brief break here. Let's take a look at what team I'm using. First of all, this button up here, the OVR button that shows you what team sets you have an effect like that. It's broken. It shows my league combo. So I'm going to tell you right off that I'm using a Boston S set right now, because if we go back to my lineup and we actually battle lineup, you scroll through, you'll see Ziegler is the only non-Boston player, so he's one single non-Boston player. So we also can't see the proper set effects if I hit brag lineup, by the way. It doesn't actually apply the proper team set. Notice Sale is listed as 107, yet if I go back to ranked play, and I believe if I look at him here, he shows him as 110. So when you hit brag, it's showing using your set bonus from your league play, and you really can't show what your ranked team is. It's a bug. I call that a bug. Anyways, let's get back to playing so we don't sit here forever. So I have this belief or theory or whatever you want to call it about those. You'll play these games where somebody's silver pitcher or some lower OVR pitcher than what you would typically face managed to shut you down for the entire game. Now, I caught a quote, and unfortunately I can't show it to you because it's just so random. But you know how the game sometimes flashes you little comments about how the game's played and these types of things went on one of the loading screens or whatever. The comment that really caught my eye was how successful stolen bases can impact a team's morale. It's only one mention I've ever seen of that, but I am convinced that they have actually implemented in this game some form of morale. You'll notice that once you get on a roll and a silver pitcher who's shutting down your team and shouldn't be, he gets 1 or 2 good innings and then he just gets harder. And I'm convinced that has to do with 2 things. One, morale. He's having a good day, and as he does better, he continues to do better. And 2, I believe that they've also implemented beyond the up and down condition of the players, they've also implemented some form of whether a pitcher has a good or bad day that causes him to basically exceed what his card color or grade is and just perform at a superhuman level, which is why I believe that we see these games and where we just get shut down by the stupidest pitchers. That it just shouldn't be happening. It makes sense if there is implemented some form of good or bad days. I used to play some tabletop baseball games, and they had this implemented, and so it makes sense. It's not a concept that just would be so new and unheard of that they couldn't have possibly implemented it. Okay, so we're getting down to our last games here. 2 left. It's taken me roughly 8 minutes so far through all this rambling that I'm doing. I'm using a new headset, so I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise or if it's picking up my coughing pretty bad. I apologize. I'm also using the iPhone built-in screen recording for the first time instead of taking it into a video editor. Normally I would actually splice out some things and mix in some other stuff. I'm going to lift straight from the video and post it directly to YouTube from the recorded video. So I hope this all works out okay. We'll see. All right, here we go. Last one. There's going to be ample opportunity to talk about things like training levels and all these other things as I play out the rest of the season. All right, I'm behind. This is I've faced this guy before. He's got a good team. And his starting pitcher's in up condition. Okay, managed to tie it. And Kelly didn't blow the game for me. And Koji almost did, but looks like I got a tie. So that's actually kind of unfortunate for me. I normally actually wouldn't even see ties within my first 4 refreshes. So I got unlucky and faced somebody who has a fairly strong team that I was unable to score any runs on. And this is pretty typical. I know a lot of people complain about, my office isn't working, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's see, look, what score was that? Yeah, that was a 1-1 game. As we actually make it up to the top, you're going to see that those types of results are fairly common. So, like I said, we're going to have a lot of time for me to ramble on about things, so let me go ahead and close out this video so we can just get this done. So thanks for watching. Oh, that put me at rank 11 already? Interesting. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in episode 2. So I'm probably not going to record the next one until the morning, even though the refresh will trigger sometime early in the morning because I'm on Pacific Coast time. I'm probably not going to do that one until the morning time, and with work and all, I don't know when I'll be able to squeeze it in, but hopefully it won't be too late after I wake up. But anyways, we'll see. Thanks for watching, and we'll see how this video series does, and bye for now.